Hey, what's going on, everybody? My name is Terminus, and today we are going to watch Spice and Wolf episode 17. It's about time, isn't it? It's about damn time. Yeah, been a while. Been quite a while coming, so I do hope we're ready. I'm definitely ready, willing, and able to watch Spice and Wolf episode 17 right now. We had a big fallout last time, and yeah, we don't know where this is going because Lawrence is feeling really bad about all of this and how he handled that, and Holo is very hurt. It's been very emotional throughout this entire fight, so who knows what she's doing, right? Who knows what's happening next, especially with the news that came. This is an identity crisis that is going on, obviously, that this such a big goal has been falling off and all of that. And we'll have to see how we manage to reconciliate in all of this. All right, let's get this party started. I don't want to let you waiting too long. Spice and Wolf episode 17 starts in a 3, a 2, a 1. Bam! Ooh, that is a beautiful shot. What even are we looking at? I think that was the city, right? And we still got the celebrations going on. I do wonder if we're kind of recapping or if this is already the evening after. Same evening. A little bit later. Festivities are still going on, of course. I'm not interesting. These scenes are done very interestingly. We'll talk about that maybe after the episode. Very interesting how we see like these campaigns going on, right? With like wagons and soldiers and whatnot. Holy shit, Aimer. Killing me. Haven't met these two yet. Raven Lady. Beautiful. Every time. I'm not getting tired of it. The ripples on the water. Fantastic. Ooh. Alright, he's talking about his scheme. It's gonna crash at some point, though. All or nothing. It might be a little bit hard the way it was presented. We'll talk about it later. That's mania almost, my dude. Hmm. Right. Pretend to be hollow. What would she do? That was a lovely frame, by the way. Quick, catch it! The interesting thing is everybody's kind of in a festive mood, right? Drinking a lot of alcohol and all of that. Hmm. It is not like Hollow to be like that. I mean, she can be mean at times, but in the moment. But for this long, it's. I can't imagine how Lawrence feels right now, right? The swirl of emotion that's going through him. Okay, already seeing things. There's a lot of pressure on him, right? He's on edge. Hmm. Ooh. A contract. The contract of marriage, of course. World is turned upside down. I like that. Ooh. Don't do anything rational, Lawrence. And he's known, right? So you go in and out. Ooh, he is on a mission. Hmm. Searching for Amadi. Once he's back, he's got a traitor smile. 500. We're feeling each other out. Ooh, on credit. Okay. And when it crashes, you made more money. If it's not worth anything, you can't sell it for more, right? So you have to bank on it rising or staying the same. But if it's worth less, but he expected him to peak that, of course. It is. It's a gamble. Hmm. Mm-hmm. And he banks on Amadi actually knowing that. A duel. Yeah. It's a merchant's duel. And make enough money. That's not what he's after, though. Mm. He just has to sell it to him. He's provoking. This poor boy. All right. Holy shit. He's crazy. If the harvest is good, the beer is plenty. It's a great showing in a way. Ooh, okay. Boy talks a little bit. It's not a problem. But what? Why the wheat? Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then they can't buy as much pyrite. No, it's gonna crash it in the right moment. But we need to time it well. On credit. And he's realizing it. And it's like having security on the stock market, right? You're betting against it going up. You're secure in both cases, but you're not making any profit. He just went for it. Mm-hmm. So you need a lot of people who do that. I think at this point, mm, hmm you have something to lose. You're traveling merchants, you don't get that. Listen to him. Your friends. You have a reputation. Even his assistant, right? His apprentice. Valuable lesson. Hmm. Yeah. The chronicler. Hmm. Yeah, she has a lot of influence there. They do. Hmm. So you're the middleman. I love the music in the background. It's really cool. This can change everything. Mm-hmm. Information is key. A really good friend. And we're off again. And we have a plan. We're locked in. All of these people on the tree. Apples everywhere. All the apples. I guess this is the fight. Banana is the moon. Sun is an apple. Oh, I didn't even peek the pelt. All right. Goods of intent and negotiation of resolve. Okay, what a title. Right, that was Spice and Wolf episode 17. We'll talk about it a little bit. We're not gonna have a discussion that is as thorough as the last one, but we'll speed through it for a second or two, talk about that. I think we have the business side of things covered, right? We have the contract, right? The wager, which is you're buying something for a price that is right now, that's existing right now. If it goes up, then that's your bad. You're not making any, like, you're not gaining anything. But if it goes down, you're also not losing anything. The person who is actually buying on credit from you banks on the fact that the price of the thing is not going down, right? That it's staying the same or going up. Makes sense, right? Makes sense generally. It's a wager, and Lawrence doesn't do it because he wants Amadi to not be able to buy like Holo's contract or whatever. He just does it, I think, as a show of manliness, right? We talked about that last time in the Colo and him talked about it in the beginning of episode 16 when they were like, right, real manliness, childishness, all of this is not the same as being reasonable and all of that. And Lawrence thinks he needs to show his might, right? He needs to show his mettle. And for him, Holo leaving that letter with like, or the contract with the marriage and like the information about Amadi is a challenge thrown down. It's like, I'm mad at you, and you better show me what I'm worth, or else. Which, right? It's a fight to woo over somebody. The question is if Holo means it that way, but at the moment, from Lawrence's perspective, that is the way it is. And I think there's a lot of truth in there, right? Holo was pretty hurt by all of that, even though it was not at all Lawrence's fault. And maybe the only thing he did wrong is like keep it from her because he was not sure how to bring it up. Other than that, most of what happened was not his fault. She was very, very sad and felt lonely because her home might not exist, right? This fear that there's no place in the world for her anymore and nobody who's waiting for her. And then there's the fear, what are we, right? Defining that. And that is hard. And we're going through that, right? What I find very interesting is, and I want to point that out, in my opinion, the way it is displayed right here, I don't buy it, right? The way Holo looks while she is talking like that is either like crazed in a way that her emotional expression is not appropriate to what she's feeling. Yes, she's in tears, but the way she's weirdly smiling and mocking and whatnot, it seems like this is out of whack, right? Almost this doesn't seem like an unfriendly smile to me. This seems like this doesn't seem like I'm gonna pay you back or screw you or whatever. This seems like almost a genuine smile to me. Not like a warm smile, but more like a devious smile, but right? Like a Holo smile, a Holo-typical smile. So don't know if I like how they did that in terms of like displaying it, because it kind of creates this state of incongruency between, now obviously it depends on what happens, because if we're looking at Holo here, how much of this is her actually being hurt, and how much of this is her playing it up in order to get what she wants out of Lawrence, maybe even out of the entire situation that's happening here, right? Just, I mean, aren't we all a little bit like that sometimes, that there's moments where we're a little bit irrational, where we do want people to show us, right? Show us, not just say it, show us what we're worth to them, right? What if we're really dear to them, if we're really important for them. And then we're doing weird, unreasonable things that put them on the spot, that put them in situations where we hope that they do the things they want, the things that we want them to do, in which then for us confirms, yeah, they really care about us. So we do know Holo is conniving, right? We do know Holo is very thought out. She's lived a long time. She knows how to deal with people. In general, at least, right? Obviously, modern customs were foreign to her to a degree, but other than that, very interesting what becomes of that. Yeah, most of this episode plays at nighttime. Really, really great, because I really, really like how this anime looks at nighttime. They do a very good job, and like having the warm lighting and the blue background with like the night sky and whatnot. And he's like becoming almost a little bit manic, where he's like, I just need to pretend to be God, I guess. But after a while, he thinks about that sentence and he's like, maybe there's an idea here. What would Holo do in this situation? And we're thinking it through, and we're like, this frame was amazing, by the way. This was a really cool frame. I like that. And we're thinking about the pyrite and whatnot, and we're hacking out the scheme. And I said it in the... Well, no, let's talk about this first. Yeah, pirate worth 300. This is the division of Amadi's asset. She's telling him this is what he has, right? But then he's, right, first he's like, I got this in the bag. She's actually collecting information for me. It's fine. And then he opens up the contract and her name is actually under it. And it's like, holy shit. His whole world is upside down. And he's getting panic. He's like, maybe she actually meant what she said. He's flip-flopping between the confidence he's gained within the last period, like the couple of months that he spent traveling with her, and the not so great confidence that he had previously to that, and his lack of experience with women in general. So he's like, maybe I'm not that, right? Maybe I was too sure of myself. And now he feels like he has to go for a wager. He's on a mission. You see that he's tense. He was tense before when the innkeep was saying, oh, you got letters, right? He was jumpy. And now he's even more on like absolutely tense, but then he's actually moving in, and the moment he meets Amadi, he has his best trader smile. He's not showing any weakness, which is amazing, because you need that to fool him. And fool him he does, no matter if his scheme works out or not. In this moment he fools him, right? It's like selling pyrite, blah, blah, blah. And we're kind of just trying to feel each other out, to confirm, right? It's especially Amadi is trying to confirm, what does Lawrence want out of that? What kind of person is Lawrence even, right? Because he felt a little bit bad. He says it later. He felt a little bit bad about taking everything away from him, right? Taking possibly his romantic option, right? Taking it from another man, and then like maybe ruining him financially as well on some other levels, right? Well, I mean, not ruining him financially, that wouldn't be the case if Lawrence didn't suggest all of that stuff here. But he's bright, he's young, he's very, very smart. What Lawrence here is banking on, right? He knows he's smart, so he knows he's gonna get it. And he knows that he's inexperienced though and naive. And what he is gonna bank on is that Amadi's gonna be smart and realize what the general scheme is with what Lawrence is suggesting. And he's like, that was the trick. He thought I wouldn't see through that, right? And that he's not gonna question it further. Especially when Lawrence is like, you know what, you got me, right? You got it right. You realized what was happening. But that's not the point. The point is I'm throwing down the gauntlet. And Amadi's like, nah, I'm gonna, like, you have too much of a disadvantage, right? In this duel of ours. The thing is, he's like, okay, he needs another push. He needs another push in order for him to actually go for the deal. What can I do? What can I say? And he's doing something that Holo often does, right? He's employing a strategy of Holo's, which is poke. Poke at the places where you know it's gonna be really, really touchy for them. And for him, being touched, like what's touchy for him is behavior that is unsightly, right? Like things that are cruel, things that are sexist in a way, right? Things that are looking down on other people, especially Holo in this case, the person who he is infatuated with. Mistreatment, right? Taking advantage of somebody's vulnerability, which very funny because Lawrence literally rejected doing that in the last episode, but he is pretending he's doing it here in order to poke Amadi, to lose his temper and not understand that he is actually doing that to prod him, which is Holo has cried in my 3 times since we started traveling together. That is already why has she cried, right? First, why has she cried? Did you give her a reason to? Second of all, it's suggesting some kind of romantic or sexual relationship, right? Some kind of like, right? 3, it's suggesting he's making use of that. He's using that vulnerability, especially since he is stating it here as if it was like something to brag about, which is something Amadi with his like knightly spirit and whatever and his noble ideals would never do. Lawrence neither, but he's doing it here to poke him. She's pretty cute when she's like that, but she's a stubborn one. He's using exactly what Holo was throwing at him, was like, was I cute? Was I like, right? Was I pathetic? He's using that in order to get to him. And it works so well. It works so well. There are times when he acts the opposite. In other words, right? He's so he's bringing himself across as so self-assured, and one on Amadi is like, this fucking bastard. I can't, right? I have to take everything away from him because he is abhorrent. He is a fucking horrible human being. He is not, but he's giving that impression across, and that's amazing. And he can sell it very, very well. And he learned very well from the Shisho. Love that reflection in the wine. Because that is the moment Lawrence knows he's got him. And they shake on it. Very interesting thing about the reputation. I think like the way we, well, first of all, the way we do the thing with like, it's stock market like, right? If we're basically in the stock market, what you can do is you can, for example, invest in certain portfolios. So certain companies are going to invest in you, and a lot of them will brag about being secure for market crashes, right? They're buying other assets in order to counteract the possible negative results of the market crashes. The problem is if you do that, you're not making any profit. Why is that? Well, it's pretty simple. You're buying in the one direction to actually make a profit, and you're buying in the other direction to prevent you from having a loss. So what happens if the market crashes? You won't have a loss. What happens if the market soars? Since you're buying against it, right? You're buying assets that are in the opposite direction. For example, you're buying, I don't know, you're basically, I don't know, I think it's called shorting or something. I don't know exactly, but you're banking on a certain stock, whatchamacallit, on a certain stock value actually going down, and at the same time you're banking on it going up. You're basically landing in the middle. There's nothing happening. So that's the problem, right? Look, I'm not a financial advisor, but if I can tell you anything, what I'm actually doing when I get a little bit of money is I'm gonna put it into ETFs, exchange traded funds. It's basically banking on, well, if you choose the right ones, obviously. There's enough people who actually advise you on that stuff, but you're basically banking on the economy in general across a period of 10, 15, 20 years. You have to hold it for that long to improve, right? Productivity to improve, general new markets to come out of whatnot, and right? And you're slowly making small dividends, but if you put enough in it, right, like with like a saving plan or whatever, like just something that you have available each month or every 2 months or 3 months or whatever, where you just can put a little bit something to the side. It's nice to have it in case you need it later during retirement. And that is, I think, a very reasonable thing to do. Other than that, he's playing he's playing fast and loose, but not right now, right? Right now he's secure. He's buying on credit, he's got the money guaranteed, and the person who is kind of banking on stuff going up and learning for the first time how it works with the market, with prices going up and down, is Amadi. And maybe he's gonna crash, or maybe he's gonna make a huge profit. And that will determine if Lawrence has won or not in this little contest of manliness, basically. But yeah, that's really cool. But yeah, we're also kind of explaining something very important, which is the ramifications of being a stationary person, right? Being in a stationary position where I do know everybody here in this town, I do know everyone, and they rely on me, I rely on them. And if I run around and I'm behaving like somebody going through a casino and gambling my money away and whatnot, people will be like, I don't know if I trust this guy to actually sell me wares or to buy them for me or to actually do trade with me. And it's not like you can move on to the next town and just, like, if things go wrong and just go on. It's like you have a wife, a family, an apprentice who has a future that you have in your hands, basically, and that is tied to your own reputation. And that is gonna bring your reputation down if you play fast and loose, and that's why he can't do it. It's just completely different from being a traveling merchant, and Lawrence doesn't have that experience. He's just a traveling merchant, never was somebody who had an actual stall. And as a result of that, right, I mean, it's important for him to learn for later, for fucking sure. Anyway, actually, my SD card is running out, so I'll see you next time on Spice and Wolf. See ya.